Well, this is going a lot slower than I had anticipated because I'm trying to do this right. And I got to thinking about this little project. This plug has to look as good as you want the wing to look because the wing will look exactly like this plug. Yo! So I have spent 8 hours getting it to this to this section, and it's still not perfect. I got a little spot there and a couple of spots. So we're going to sand on this. And I got to thinking, I'm going to make a few of these with no trim on it or whatever. But I got to thinking, if you want to order one of these airplanes from me, I can put your AMA number right into the wing. By once I get the mold made, by sticking down the numbers in the mold and then carbon fiber over it, and they'll be indented into the wing, or a name or a stripe or whatever. Because we're not going into a big production run, but I will make a few of these airplanes with nothing on them. So what we want to do is, let's see, where's the water? Where is the water? I don't see it anywhere. But this here will be like a mirror. This will be polished better than an airplane, and then waxed, and then we're going to make the mold. And I forgot, I also have that other black shit that makes a better mold. So can't remember what you call it. I can't get a hold of Dan. He's off on another planet somewhere to ask any questions. So I'm kind of on my own. Phew, this shit stinks. This is the wrong stuff. Damn. I got to get that off. This stuff here has chlorine in it. ATX. Man, I don't know what happened to my water. My regular water just disappeared. Don't have any Windex. Now, Wendy always sanded with M600. We're going to try to sand with this ATX to see what it does. See if there's any benefit to it. Well, it cut pretty good. In fact, it cuts real good with that stuff. Yeah, except I can't afford to use that on there. I'm gonna have to get some water. We got a little water in the bottom of this, maybe. Well, the M6 or the ATX makes this paper cut way better, but it's just too expensive to use. Yeah. Yeah, what the heck? Spare no expense. Let's pour a little bit of this into our cup. I am trying to make this perfect, so. Stuff is $80 a gallon. 80 and change. Not good. Mucho dinero. The paper loaded up. I've got a couple spots here I'm going to have to acro green. I'm done priming because primer is too soft. Yeah, I got one side done. Except for acro. Like I've said several times, this is a test for me to do elevator stabilizers like this. We'll see. I'm thinking this is going to be super, super light. But I've got 8 hours into finishing this already. You guys saw me put the glass on it. That took an hour. And I've been working on standing. Well, here's one for you. And I'll know next time not to do that. I left the leading edge split. You know, I didn't, the trailing edge was good, but the leading edge was split. And I started sanding on it and it opened up. Well, when I put paint on it, dope attacked the foam. So I had to go back And I took a piece of carbon fiber rod and inserted it on the leading edge, then refiberglassed about 1 inch back. The leading edge so that it was perfect. Yeah, that'll be as far as I take it. I'll use some aqua green on it. That spot, that spot, that spot, that spot. But when I sell these, I want them to be absolutely perfect. When I go, here, look at that. And in order to do that, this plug has to be absolutely perfect. And I'm sure you guys don't want to see the countless hours that I'll have sanding on this stupid wing. When you're building these type of things, all the work's done up front. Is when you're building a stunner, the work is done afterwards in the finish. You know, put the paint on and sand it off and polish. Well, you got to sand this and polish it up front. And I didn't expect to be on for a full hour tonight because it's just too boring. I got a guy coming over in a few minutes here fixing the roof. We had a big wind here that tore the shingle off the front of my house that he just put up there and tore down the gutter. He's going to put that back and put a screw in it. He said he'd do it for nothing, but I got to give him something for it. I don't want to be owing anybody anything. I think the next time I do this, I'm going to make this out of solid wood. I could have done solid wood and saved some time. But we need to get another piece of sandpaper. This is wore out. What happens when you're sanding on green paint? But do remember, every imperfection here will be translated into the rest of the airplanes. Be in the mold. So you got it. It's got to be perfect. Or as close to perfect as humanly possible. Let's put it that way. Otherwise, you'll have somebody say, "Hey, what are you gonna do about that?" They ain't doing a damn thing about it because they did it up front. I got that out. I don't know why I show this stuff because I don't know how many you guys will attempt to do this. Just remember, you can do anything you want, anything you set your mind to. Of course, you got to think about it too. Okay, let's wipe it off, get some acryl green on it. And then I'll end the video and maybe come back after dinner after that stuff dries and we'll get another coat of black dope on it. Tomorrow I'll start adding the clear. Okay, acryl. I just saw that razor blade. Where'd it go? If anybody wants one of these, I'm figuring that $250 for an ARF is going to be what it is. You pay that much for a stunner, and this will, even though it's smaller, this is going to be way nicer than what you get from Brodak. And what I figured on motor mounting is I'm going to put an adjustable motor mount system in it. So you can put whatever motor you want in it on aluminum pads. That'll be interesting. Been done before. But when this is done here, it'll look like a piece of billet, black billet. And I chose black color because it's the easiest to show imperfections. The nice thing about this airplane is it's a one design event, so everybody's flying the same airplane, whether it be made of wood, carbon, whatever. So the actual thing is the engine itself to get it to run. But that's what a PERKY looks like. Somebody was asking me, what does a PERKY look like? This is an old-time speed event. That's what it looks like right there. So I've already thought exactly how I'm going to do the fuselage. Got the wing, we got the wing whooped, no big deal. It's got a split line right above this airplane's going to come off right at that line, top and bottom. So I have to build a speed pan like a Harder's pan, which is no big deal. Turn it upside down so that it's perfectly flat on the glass. That way we've got a zero, a correct thrust line, and do the top the other way so the lines meet perfectly in the center. So there'll be 2 screws at the wing and 1 at the tail. And I also thought that because I'm molding this and I can do it, I got the right resin, the fuselage itself is going to be the fuel tank. This compartment right here where it says coil, most people will put a metal tank in there. We're going to make this right here a fuel tank. So the whole fuselage is a fuel tank. Not the whole fuselage, just a little bit up front. And if somebody wants something different, they can just cut it out of there. All it is 1 extra piece. No, 2 extra pieces, a back and a top. I'll have one of these at Brodex if you want to see one. I'll probably, once I get these molds done, I'll probably have some either short kits or ARFs at Brodex too. I'll make more than one. The hardest part is making this mold. I bet it's going to be 2 weeks making the mold. Because the fuselage itself is quite an ordeal to make. That's going to be 2 molds in itself. So the landing gear is not a big deal. Looks like they're only using 16th wire. We're going to use 3/32. And I am going to mold all the parts, so the rudder, the elevator stabilizer, all that. So it'll be 100% carbon airplane. Yeah, I don't see why this won't work. The wing saddle is going to be something I'm going to have to figure out. That's no problem. This was just a quick update on what I've been doing. I got 8 hours in working on finishing the plug. And after I end the stream, I'll sand this again and then shoot another coat of black on it. This here has to look like a mirror with no flaws in it before I start. And then we'll make the mold. The mold is coming this week. I'm sure that I can get the mold done this week for the wing. Then I have to figure out, do I have enough styrofoam here to cut the buck for the fuselage? I should go to Schaefer's and buy a piece of basswood and carve it out of basswood. Then I wouldn't have to go through the fiberglassing. Just curious, what do you estimate the five? And how does that? Okay. The rules call for no heavier than 23 ounces. At 23? Let me see here. If you've never seen a PERKY yet, no pressure tanks, no tune pipes. I thought I saw that here somewhere. Oh, here we are, right here in this. Yeah, maximum model weight will be 23 ounces. Well, that's too heavy. I'm figuring this is the best I can figure it out. 2 ounces for the wing, because this is going to be an ounce, because this is about the same amount of carbon as in a tank. This will be an ounce. 2 ounces, 2.5 ounces. That includes the elevator stabilizer, and we'll give it 3 ounces. We'll give it 3 ounces for the fuselage. Maybe 4. Let's go 4. So we got 4, 8, 10. The airplane will be around 10 ounces. And then whatever hardware, what does a bell crank weigh? Going to make a little phenolic bell crank. And a push rod, we'll say 1 ounce. Let's see, you've got 4. This is just a guess because I've never done this before, but I'm just projecting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. 10 ounces. Finished up, ready to go without the engine. It will have the tank in it because I'm going to make part of the fuselage of the tank. So say 10 ounces. Then you got an engine and spinner. What does this thing weigh? And a propeller. That's a set, say 6.7, 6.8. So we got 17 ounces. 17, around a pound, I'd say. Yes, it's going to have, like I just was saying, the speed pan itself. This pan will be carbon fiber. At this bulkhead right there, that'll be a carbon fiber bulkhead. That'll be a carbon fiber bulkhead, and then put a top on it, and then I'll plumb up the first part of the fuselage as a tank. So we're not going to add any extra weight for a tank. It's going to be right in the fuselage. Why not? I got the stuff to do it. Probably around the max total ready to fly. No, it's going to be lighter than the max total. It has to be less than 23 ounces. That is ridiculous. I'm just guessing. 2. Well, let's see what this weighs right here. Because I'll guarantee that my carbon wing won't be as heavy as this. That's only 135. So we'll say 2 ounces for the wing. That's 2, 4, 6 ounces for the airplane, and whatever that weighs. Could you build it lighter than wood? Probably. Would it be as cool? No. Certainly won't be as strong. And as I was stating, Steve, when I first started the video, I have figured out that if somebody orders one of these, I can impregnate their AMA number into the wing while molding. I'll take my plotter and plot out the stencils and embed them right into the molding of it. So that'll be cool. I might put Perky on it. I might put Stunt Hanger on it. I don't know. The first ones will be going to be with no markings. So it'll just be smooth black carbon. Yeah, I'll guarantee there's a lot of putty and a lot of glass and shit on this. It will not be as heavy as this. And this is 1.35 ounces. Where'd that tank go? I had it pretty much figured it's going to be the same amount of carbon as one of my fuel tanks. So they weigh an ounce. So I don't know where I got the 2 ounces from, 2 per side. What engine? 15. I guess that's 2.5 cc. Any 15 you want. And how I figured I would make the motor mounts for this thing is I will take this maple right here, embed it into the fuselage. We'll recess it so we can put 2 aluminum plates on it that you bolt your engine to the aluminum plates and then bolt the plates down. Of course, when I figure this out, I'll route it all out and make it as light as possible. But that's what I'm doing. I've never built one of these. This is my first one. Now, when Bob Franklin was alive, I used to build his speed airplanes for him. He flew D-speed. And so I know what it takes to make it work. This is a nice piece. Trust me. You can tell there's some work in it when you're holding it. But it'll be even nicer tomorrow when I sand all that off and shoot another coat of clear and about 15, or another coat of black and about 15 coats of clear, and get my polisher and polish this thing to. I might even take some of that urethane and put urethane on it, because we're looking for perfect. Yeah, well, I don't have, this is the engine that I got for it. This is a Cox Conquest 15. This is what I got. This came from Rusty. If you go back in the live streams on my channel, search past live streams, you'll find Rusty. He passed away. I didn't even know he was sick. He was the United States' longest diabetic patient. He was on dialysis for the longest time of anybody. And I saw him in Huntersville, and I said, "Hey, buddy, how come you ain't been on?" He said he was sick, and a couple of days later, he was gone. So he gave me that engine, and I said, "Someday I'll put it to use." That's the only 15 I've ever owned. I've never owned a 15. I got to looking in my electric stuff. I got a lighter spinner than that. I mean, this I got to work on making adapters and shit. This spinner would look cool, but it's heavy. You could put a starter on it to make it go. We'll figure it out. I'll put electric spinner on it, super light spinner. Or hunt up an inch and a half or inch and a quarter. What is it? The rules state it must have an inch and a half to inch and 3/4 spinner. So we'll put an inch and a half on there. Maybe I'll find an inch and a half carbon fiber spinner to put on. But I better get it quick so I can get the fuselage shaped in perfectly, because once that mold's made, that's it. Well, I think that's going to do it for this evening. I'm sorry it was not longer, but all this work is pretty tough. I hear them working on my roof out front. So I got to go out there and pay him anyway. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow night is the Monday night hangout, as usual. I'm on between 7 o'clock Central and 9 o'clock Central. 2 hours is a pretty good lick, and that's plenty. And then you can go to the after party if you're a member of Stunhanger, and that's what I would suggest you do. I might use Danny's wheels. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.